Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. I'm Kyra Howearth, your host. Here on the show, we talk all about manifesting your dreams with the power of the moon so you can use the cosmic energy to transform your life. Hey, and welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. It's Kyra Howearth, and today I have one of my favorite types of episodes. It's a show and tell episode. I have something really exciting to show and tell you all about. So if you are listening to the audio version, if you're maybe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or anywhere else, and you can't see the video, if you do want to come and watch this episode, you can view the video episode on YouTube, on Spotify. I think those are probably the main two places that you can actually watch this episode. So if you do want to come along and watch, feel free to pause where you are now and jump onto another platform. But otherwise, do listen along. But yeah, this one's probably a bit better with the visuals as well. So welcome back to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. As you may have guessed, today's episode is all about the 2025 Moon Manifesting Planner. I'm so excited, you guys. I literally just got my copy of the 2025 Moon Manifesting Planner in the mail earlier this week. I have just sent off all the pre-orders this week as well, which is amazing. Sent off so many packages, and I'm so excited for them all to get to their future homes so that you can all start using your planners for the year ahead. And I'm just so excited to actually dive into this planner myself because it's such a fun journey of working with this planner every single year to manifest my goals. So in today's episode, I'm going to take you through a bit of a walk through the planner, show you all the different features and things that are inside, how to use this. If you haven't already got your copy of the planner, this is a really good way to have a look inside to help you make a decision whether you want to get the Moon Manifesting Planner or maybe there's other planners out there that better suit your needs. And if you do already have the planner, if you've maybe pre-ordered or you've now ordered it since it's been released, then this episode can also just guide you through how I suggest that you use the planner, but of course you can use it in any way that you like. So a bit of a history lesson about the Moon Manifesting Planner before we dive into it. I started off making these planners back in 2020. My first one was for the 2021 year. So this is now the 5th version of the Moon Manifesting Planner that I have made. Over the years, the Moon Manifesting Planner has gone through quite an evolution. I started off with, and I have done a very similar episode in the past. I think even last year, I did a very similar episode to what I'm doing now, but it was all about the 2024 planner. And I did go through a bit of a history lesson, I guess, about the history of the planners. So if you're interested, go check that one out. But anyways, the planner has evolved over the years. And so every year I kind of change things up a little. And so anyway, last year I cut out a lot of features from the planner because one, I just felt like it was too time consuming to create and all the different things. But anyway, I really regret that decision. There were so many features that I missed this year in the Moon Manifesting Planner. So I have added in a lot of those features back into next year's version of the planner, which is partly why I'm so excited to dive into using it because it's so packed with all the features that you love and so much more. So all right, let's just dive into it because I just really want to show you guys the planner. So you may have recalled, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I did a while back ask for everyone's votes for which cover you wanted for the front of this year's Moon Manifesting Planner. And I had 3 different options. There was this planner cover that I have ultimately chosen that was based on all your votes. So it's like the galaxy, starry sort of cover. But the one that I really wanted to use that probably came runner up with the votes was like a really nice misty forest, very twilight Howearth vibes, if you understand what I mean. Anyway, when I literally like where I'm sitting in my office right now, I can literally see out onto the street out the front of my house. And I saw the delivery guy coming early this week and I was like, oh, it's my planners. And in my head, I was like, it's the planners. It has like the misty forest cover. And then I opened up the box and I was like, oh no, that's right. We chose the galaxy cover. So maybe 2026 is going to have that beautiful misty forest cover. But yeah, this year we've got the galaxy cover. But it was just funny, just in my head, I really wanted that misty forest cover, but you guys all voted for the galaxy, and I guess it is kind of more aligned with the moon and everything, right? Like, it'd just look weird if there was a moon in a misty forest, right? But anyways, a bit of a personal reflection there. So yeah, thank you everyone for your voting for the cover for this year's planner. Really pleased with how it turned out. The colors are beautiful. So anyways, let's dive into the planner. So this year I have actually gone ahead and just created an Australian edition. I did, when I had the pre-orders up for sale, I had two different versions. I had the Southern Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere versions. All of the pre-orders I got were for the Australian version. I'm not sure why no one ordered the Northern Hemisphere version, which was for American time zones, could also be used for like Europe. No one pre-ordered it. So I took that as a sign from the universe that it's probably not worth my time to create that Northern Hemisphere version and to just stick to the Australian or Southern Hemisphere version. And this also brings me back to why I created these planners in the first place. Okay, so the big thing for me and the whole reason why I basically like start up my like witchy stuff on Instagram is to educate Australian witches about how different the moon phases are here in the Southern Hemisphere compared to the Northern Hemisphere. Like there's like just these subtle differences with different things between the different hemispheres. And being an Australian witch, being an Australian astrologer, this is something I'm really passionate about. So I'm actually kind of glad that the universe is kind of just forcing me to focus more on the Australian version of things. So yeah, so keep that in mind. If there are heaps of you listening and you send me a message and say, Kyra, I really want that US version, or Kyra, I'm in Europe and I really want your planner, let me know, because if I do get enough requests, I can easily get up that Northern Hemisphere version available for you all. But like otherwise, don't stress. You can definitely use the Australian edition. It's just that there will be some slight variations. The moon phases will be backwards compared to what you see in the sky in the Northern Hemisphere. Our moons look backwards down here, but it's always going to be the same, like waxing crescent here, waxing crescent up in the Northern Hemisphere, all that sort of thing. And also because this does have times in it, it is like if you do purchase this and you are living somewhere outside of Australia, you will just have to adjust the times to your time zone. So those are just the key things to keep in mind. But otherwise, I mean, you can use this wherever you are in the world. Anyway, let's just dive into it because I feel like I'm just talking too much about the planner and not actually showing and telling. So we start off with a nice little spot here where you can put your name, a nice little welcome note from me. And the first few pages are always just like about how to use the planner. So using the planner, let me try and get the planner into a better view. It goes through all the planetary energies, the zodiac energies, all of that sort of thing, how to work with the moon, the void of course moons. So there's always this first little section that's like a reference section. So even if you're new to astrology or working with the moon or anything like that, I really try to make it easy for beginners. Okay, so yeah, there's these reference sections at the front, and then we go into our year ahead ritual. And I love this part. Every single year around like the 31st of December or the 1st of January, this is when I sit down and I work through these pages. This year I will probably aim to do this around the new moon in Capricorn, which is on the 31st of December. So that's a really aligned time cosmically, but I mean, of course you can do it anytime. So for your year ahead rituals, there's things like a card spread, there's journal pages where you can set your goals in all different sorts of area of your life. This year I have included a reading list. Okay, so I've been getting into reading a lot more and trying to like set myself a reading goal every year. So this page has been specifically inspired by what I'm wishing was in the planner, somewhere to record all the books that I'm reading. So you can use that spot to record the books that you read, or maybe even like make a checklist of books that are on your to be read list, and then you can check them off as you actually read them throughout the year. If you are someone who has like a pile of books that you haven't read, I know a few of you who may be listening, this is a really good opportunity to actually manifest getting those books read, right? There's space here for a vision board, and a page here just about your 2025 goals, space for a word of the year, an affirmation of the year, your number one goal for the year. This little box here, I've kept this blank. You may like to pull a card, you may like to have like a little illustration there, whatever you want. I try to keep like some little blank spots throughout the planner so that you can like use your imagination and use it how you want to use it, okay? There's really no right or wrong way to use it. Like once you've got it in your hands, you can do whatever you like with it, really. So that's the year ahead section, and then we dive into our monthly pages. So one of the cool things about this, if you love my free moon manifesting calendars, you now no longer need to wait for me to send them out to you every month. If you get the planner, you'll have your daily prompts all for the entire year ahead inside the planner. So on these monthly pages, you do have the little daily prompts, you have the moon phase, you have the signs that the moon is in, and this is a new feature as well. I used to just like put one sign for every day. The moon often changes signs throughout the day, so it will be in two signs. So this year I was like, whatever, I'm just going to put both signs in. And then there's also these little drops, which I have put in so you can track your menstrual cycle. If you don't have a menstrual cycle, you can use these little droplets for anything else that you may want to use them for. But my suggestion is, yeah, menstrual tracking. And this was a feature that has been requested by you all. And then over on this little column, there's a section here for notes. I often use this section for things like making like a checklist of things I want to do throughout the month, reminders. I've also used this section for planning out what I'm going to post on socials for the month, like my social media planning, all that sort of thing. Of course, you can use it however you like. So we have this monthly spread, the monthly calendar for every single month. Then we go into like some goal setting for the month ahead. So we have this first page where you have your month ahead ritual. It does tell you like when the full moon and new moon is in that month, a little blurb about how to work with the energy of this particular month. And then a big box here for setting your intentions and goals for the month ahead. So what I love to do in this planner, and this is why I feel like it works so well to help you manifest your goals, is that when you're setting your goals for each month, if you're like drawing a blank, you look at this page and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I want to do in January. What you do, right, is you flip back to the front section. Oh, well, not quite the front section, but you know, the year ahead section where you're setting your goals for your year ahead. And you might be like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I wanted to do that this year. So maybe you make a goal for the month that might be just like a little bite-sized chunk of those bigger goals. Maybe it's the next step towards those bigger goals, anything like that. So that is one of my favorite ways to use the planner because it keeps you on track for manifesting those big goals that you want to achieve for the entire year. So as an example, for this year, 2024, I had a few big goals that I did set for myself at the start of my 2024 Moon Manifesting Planner. One of the things was that I wanted to do my 300-hour yoga teacher training. We're now towards the end of 2024 and I have almost completed it. I've just got like the tiniest little bit, like 1% of the course left to do, which is super, super exciting. And really it's because of this planner that I was able to do that in this time frame, that I was able to focus on that throughout the year because I had wrote that down as one of my big goals. I literally only had about 3 big goals that I wanted to do this year. And that was one of them. And every single month as I was setting out my monthly goals, I was like, okay, go back to this page, this section at the front, the year ahead goal setting. And I would check in and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. I need to keep working on that 300-hour yoga teacher training. And I would just keep doing the next step, like the next module or the next assignment or whatever it is that it happened to be. So that's a really cool way to keep on track with your big goals, is to just keep coming back to that every time you're at the start of a month, setting those goals that are in alignment with those bigger goals for the year. Of course, you can set yourself whatever other goals you want, but that's just one of my favorite ways to use this planner. Now, every single month, this is a really cool section as well that I love using to add a bit of like magic and energetics into your month. So we have these 3 pages. The first one is card of the month. So you might consciously or just like intuitively pull a card that will be your theme for the month. Might be an oracle card, might be a tarot card. It could even be a rune. It could be whatever you work with. And there are like some little boxes here on this page, like put in your interpretation or your meaning, the action steps that this card is prompting you to take, and how you'll connect with this card this month. So like, let's say you pull the High Priestess, okay? So the meaning of the High Priestess is about like trusting your intuition, maybe listening to your dreams, all that sort of thing. So how you'll connect with this card this month, it could be things like practicing meditation every evening, or pulling a tarot card every morning, or something like that. And it can be completely up to you. And then action steps to take, well, maybe that's like, I don't know, like meditate on Insight Timer every day, or something like that, or sign up for that meditation course you've been thinking about doing, whatever it happens to be that feels aligned with that card. And then on the next 2 pages, it's a very similar sort of thing. You can pick a herb for the month and a crystal for the month. So your herb for the month, this might be like a herb that you can use as a herbal tea. It might be a herb that you can use as an essential oil. It might be a herb that you have growing outside or that is within your local biosphere that you can connect with. Anything that encourages you to like connect with that sort of plant. And again, like there's some space here that you can write out some things about that herb for the month. So the physical healing properties, the spiritual healing properties, and again, how you'll connect with that herb for the month. So again, this is going to depend on like the specific of that herb. Maybe there's something that you can make a tea of, and maybe you'll commit to drinking that tea every single day for the month, or using that essential oil or whatever it happens to be. Like if you pull sage, maybe you'll commit to using a sage stick every week for the month, or whatever feels good for you. And then the same sort of thing for the crystal of the month. So again, these are like healing tools that you can use. This herb, this crystal, this card of the month that you're pulling, you can just think of them as like healing tools or ways to tune into the energy of the month ahead. And you can consciously choose these tools that you're using. You can choose your crystal, your herb, your card. You can consciously be like, okay, this month I really want to embody the energy of the magician. I really want to work with ginger, and I really want to work with the citrine crystal, or whatever it happens to be. Something that I like to do is also align the energies of these healing tools, the herb and the crystal, with the zodiac energies. So maybe thinking about the sun season. So January, we're mostly in Capricorn season. So I might think, okay, what is a Capricorn herb? What is a Capricorn crystal? What is a card that's associated with Capricorn? And so I might choose to consciously work with those, or you can literally just intuitively pick whatever comes up for you. There's no right or wrong way. There's so many different ways that you can use this. So yeah, you've got your healing tools. Then the next few sections are your new and full moon ritual pages. So we do have some journaling questions for every single new moon, and a card spread for every single new moon and full moon. So I have actually included the new moon in Capricorn, even though this is technically on the 31st of December 2024, but I just feel like, well, for starters, there's no other new moon in Capricorn in 2025. There's no new moon in Capricorn at all, just because of the way the moons are lined up. So I really wanted to include this energy here, but it's close enough to January that I was like, oh, it's got to be in here. So yeah, you get a bit of a bonus, a few pages, but there we go. Full moon in Cancer, and then also the new moon in Aquarius. And then we dive into the heart of the planner. So every single week you get this week to view page, or this week to view spread. You can set your intentions and goals for the week. So again, coming back to that goal setting process of checking in with the goals that you've set for the month, like breaking them down into even like smaller bite-sized chunks. So going back to my example about how I was doing my 300-hour yoga teacher training, that was my big goal for the year that I wrote down at the start of the journal. So month by month, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this module. So in this week, I might be like, okay, I'm going to watch videos 1 through to 3. Or something like that. Like you just break it down into those really bite-sized chunks. Or this week I'm going to work on this assignment. Or this week I'm going to do so many classes because that's a requirement of my teacher training or whatever it happens to be, right? You just break it down into those little bite-sized pieces so that way you're constantly making progress, you're constantly moving forward towards your goals. You make it really easy, because otherwise those really big goals can seem so overwhelming. They can seem so big and so unattainable. When you really break them down into these bite-sized chunks, it makes them so much easier to manifest. So this is really like such a key way for doing that, right? So then on each day, and you may not be able to see this as well. Oh no, you can pretty much see it. Okay, so there's void of course moon times. So when the moon is void of course, and it does have this in the reference section at the start of the planner, but these are times to avoid scheduling in important appointments or events or anything like that that's really important that you only get one shot at. The time that the moon is void, of course, is best spent for maintenance. So whether that's like cleaning your house or like meditation or yoga, that's spiritual maintenance, or even just resting, like making sure that you sleep, especially if that void of course moon time is overnight in your time zone, making sure you sleep during that time. But otherwise you're just not doing anything important. And I really like to look at these void of course moon times as times that I can take off. Like I can have a break from work. I can like give myself a permission slip to not be productive during those times, because really you'll find that you're not very productive during those times anyway. You may be prone to procrastinating. Things just may not go to plan. You might have tech troubles or whatever it is. So yeah, those void of course moon times, they do happen every second to third day. So you will see them throughout the planner. So there is those void of course moon times. You'll also find things like our astrological transits. So on this page here, you'll see Venus moves into Pisces. There's another transit here. I think that's, Mars opposition Pluto. So you'll find all of these astrological transits. And again, if you're new to astrology, you'll just go back to the section towards the front of the book, and it does give you a bit of a rundown of the energies of each of the planets, of the aspects, so whether it's a conjunction, an opposition, a square, or a trine. Those are the only aspects I do have in the planner. There are so many other aspects that you can work with in astrology, but just for the keeping it easy. And then there's all the zodiac energies as well. So even beginners can really start to get a grasp on how to work with astrology on a day-to-day basis with this planner. I do try to make it really easy for you all. Okay, so yeah, we've got all the astrological stuff. You'll also see like the moon signs and phases, as well as the menstrual tracking on this week to view spread. And then we also have these little rectangles, these boxes on each day. This is for if you pull a daily card, a daily tarot card, oracle card, rune, you can record it all here in your planner, which is such a nice activity to do. In my past planners where I have had this feature, it has been so nice to like flip back throughout the week or the months and just see like, oh my gosh, like there's this one particular month where I kept pulling this card or something like that. It is really cool to like observe those patterns that may come up with those cards or runes that you're pulling. And it is also just a nice way to connect in with the energies of each day. So that is basically the week to view spread. So we have that for every single week. Now, at the end of the month, I do have these blank pages. You can kind of see the printing from the previous pages. It just looks pretty bad on the camera here, but they're blank pages. So you can use those for note taking, for doodling, for drawing, for whatever it is that you want to do. If you just need a bit of blank space to write down stuff, there you go. Shopping list, whatever. And then the last page for each month, you have a month end ritual where you can go through with some reflections for things that you did throughout the month, what you're grateful for, what you're ready to release, all those different things. So then we go into the next month and it repeats all over again. Skipped a page. So yeah, we've got the monthly calendar and so forth, all the things. So that goes through the entire year for 2025. And I'll just show you the end of the planner now. Let's see, going to the end of the planner. So at the end of the planner, we do have a few other pages to wrap things up. This is a really nice way to sit with the planner at the end of the year to do like a bit of review of your year. So I have like this little reflection ritual. Now you can go through this month by month. So like at the end of January, just come in here and just like write your highlights for the month. Or maybe just at the end of the year, you'll just go through and be like, oh yes, that's what I did in January. That's what I did in February. And this is a really nice way to kind of see how far you've come, look at all the amazing things you've done over the year. Because sometimes we forget, right? Sometimes we just go through the year, just living and doing our things, and we don't really take that time to reflect. So this is a really nice ritual to just see how far you've come in the year. We also have some like journaling questions here to release the year that has been. Some rituals. Don't know if I showed you the rituals at the front of the planner, but there are also some like manifesting rituals for the year ahead. And then just some space for notes. And then we have a 2026 calendar, and that's basically it. Just a few little pages there about some of my other products, some things about me. And then the last little page are some bookmarks. You can print these out. It's just a blank page on the back, so you're not going to be cutting out anything important. You can cut these out. You can laminate them, stick them onto cardboard, whatever you'd like. I do have a color version of these because I print the planner in black and white. That last page with the bookmarks doesn't come out in color. So I do have that color version somewhere on my website. So you have to keep an eye out for that. I'll see if I can put a link for that in the show notes. I wasn't very prepared when I was thinking about that. But anyways, so that is basically a look through the 2025 Moon Manifesting Planner. So you can now get the Moon Manifesting Planner directly from me. You can go to my website, which is down in the show notes below. You can just go to kyrahowearth.com and you'll find it. This planner is also available on Amazon and other good bookstores. If it's not there yet, it is coming out soon. It's just being released. So you can also get that planner elsewhere. I can't really control the prices that these other bookstores may list the planner at. So for the best price, you're probably best off purchasing it from me direct. But I do have limited copies in stock. So if you do know you want to get the 2025 Moon Manifesting Planner, get in quick because otherwise I will sell out and I may not get any more in stock this year. So I hope that this has helped you learn a bit more about how to use the Moon Manifesting Planner for your year ahead. And if you were just like still on the fence about maybe buying this planner or any other planner, hopefully this has helped you to decide. And of course, if you do have any more questions about the 2025 Moon Manifesting Planner, let me know. You can always send me a message on Instagram at kyrahowearth.official. You can email me or get in touch with me any other way. I think that covers everything I wanted to share with you today. So thank you so much for being here for my show and tell. It's been so fun showing you all my labor of love. I love making these planners every single year, and every year I just feel like they get better and better. And this one is definitely like the most exciting one that I've brought to life so far. So I hope you enjoy using the planner as much as I enjoyed making it for you all. And if you do have your planner or you are getting your planner from me, be sure to tag me on Instagram, like take a photo, tag me. I would love to see it, and I would love to see how you use it as well. Keep me updated with that throughout the year. And if it helps you manifest something amazing, I would love to hear that too. I would absolutely love to hear how this planner helps you manifest your goals into your reality. Alrighty, I will catch you all on the next episode of the Moon Manifesting Podcast. Stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I'll talk with you again really soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Moon Manifesting Podcast. If you are curious about working with the moon, you can read my book, Moon Manifesting, or join us inside the Moon Manifesting Coven. You'll find the links in the show notes, or go to kyrahowearth.com.